Okay guys, today I'm gonna present you my racing bike, which I use for racing during the season. This is a Canyon Lux carbon model 7.0 from 2018 model. This is the first year it came out with a new frame geometry, and the frame was redesigned from old Lux. So what's the type of the bike? The bike type is a cross-country bike. It's not a downhill bike and it's not a trail bike. As you see, the frame looks very like soft, yeah. It's not like the new Link has been redesigned to have a better pedaling efficiency, and the main like benefits of that bike is that it's very like catchy, yeah. It's like when you are riding those cross-country trails, it's like you have full control on that bike, yeah. Another thing which is a pure benefit which I was looking for was two bottle cages. There was, when 2017, when I was looking for the bikes, there was no bike which had two bottle cages. I think it was only one bike. Specialized Epic had this type of two, and it's very important for me because I'm racing a lot of marathon. It's like I'm living in the middle of Europe, so all those trails are pretty flat. So for me, I don't need any trail bike with higher suspension. This was a dream bike for me, and the dream has come true. Let's speak about the components which this bike has. When I bought it, it had the Ore XT, but it was a 11-speed then. And I decided to upgrade that to 12-speed, and the main reason for upgrading was that I was lacking the heavy gears during the racing, so I changed as well the front chainring to be a 36 at least, yeah. And then when I replaced the cassette to 12-speed, I expanded my range on both sides. I had a heavy gear and I had a lesser gear. So if there was a very steep climb, there was no problem. I could like grind it with a high cadence using that high big cog, yeah. Another benefit of that drivetrain was that during the racing, I could change gears on the load. So if you had tried that on the older one, you would have like this smash, yeah. And here, this Hyperglide technology, it's like very impressive, and I could like normally during the racing, I like just no problem change the gears down, up, no problem. It was very smooth, yeah. So then we go to another feature. We have double Fox suspension. Rear is, I think, 100. I think it is 100 Fox float, and on the front I have a Fox Stepcast 34. Don't think it is 32. It's 34. All those legs are like very stiff. Yeah, 34 Fox. I was very impressed of that. But the only issue I had with it was the problem that I have to service it. And I was a little bit afraid, but I found a manual on YouTube how to do that, and I bought those tools, and I successfully did two times the maintenance of that fork, and just bought a replacement kit for yeah. It's quite cheap. So every 60 hours of riding you have to replace replace those maintenance parts and the fluid, so no big deal, yeah. Okay, now we go to the saddle. Saddle is an ergon saddle. I replaced that with, I had a Selle Italia, but it was very slippery over here, yeah? So I replaced that with an ergon saddle, and it has some kind of strips on it. And those strips are keeping my ass on that saddle, yeah? Below the saddle, there is a dropper post for a cross-country bike. For me, it's quite important to have a dropper post because even if there is those short downhill, they are very rough. Those bike organizers, they are putting those very, like some sections are like extreme downhill, but they are very short, like maybe 30-40 seconds. And that, for those, I need that dropper post, yeah? And this is a 1-up 150. 150, as you see, I can drop almost to the bottom of the frame, which is very convenient for me. Not all dropper posts can do that, yeah? So you have to check on the 1-up page which dropper you can use, but mine is 150 and it works perfectly. We go now to the bar. On the bar I have like, yeah, you need those, yeah. So people are you're not only racing those bikes. Sometimes you just go in the city just for a ride or to the forest, and you need to inform people you are riding, and you just beep with your, yeah. Okay, and now we will go to the brakes. Brakes are normal, which came with the bike. This is the Ore XT brakes. They are like, I replaced the pads for a metallic pads, not organic pads, so they are like, they are working excellent, yeah. This is the best. I don't have any issues with that brake. That's not very often, yeah. Sometimes you would replace everything. New things are coming. They are telling you you have to buy them. Those brakes, I can have them forever, no problem. The service of them is very easy. You just replace the fluid. I bought some kind of fluid replacement kit from AliExpress from China, and it works no problem, yeah? I have a lockout for both fork and rear suspension. It locks it fully, but you can still, as you see, I can still pump a little bit, but not much, a little bit, yeah? Same with rear shock. If it comes to cranks, still I have a power meter on this bike. One-sided power meter. Would be good to have two, but during that time when I was buying that bike, I had not much money to buy anything else, and the price of that bike was I think $3,000, and now can you imagine that? What's the value of that bike now? This bike is at least 4,000 and 5,000, 4,500 I think USD now. So it is pretty expensive now to buy. Yeah. Here on the cockpit, Wahoo Bolt Element computer. I was using a phone for 1 year on that bike, but with a quad lock system. But now during the racing it's very hard. Sometimes you crash, and you would crash on your phone, and I have like a very expensive phone, so it would destroy itself. So I invested in a bike computer. Bike computer has like more power, so you don't have to take power from your phone when you use navigation and when you go into the trails, yeah. So that's why I bought that Wahoo Element Bolt. This is a version 2, quite fancy colors and stuff, so quite nice. If it comes to tires, the bike came with I think Racing Ray and Racing Ralph at the rear, and Racing Ray on the front, and those tires were pretty good. The Racing Ralph was a little bit sketchy when it was wet, but not bad at all. But I replaced that. My colleague has told me that there is some kind of new tire type in the cross-country world, and the company is called Wolfpack, and I bought two tires. One is in the front, is a very aggressive tire. It's a Wolfpack Cross, and on the rear I have a Wolfpack Speed of course for speed, yeah. those knogs are very like short on the speed one, but on the cross one they are very big. I made it like that because it's better to be safe than say sorry. Yeah, I feel more confident using that cross tire, even if it slows me down a little bit. I'm not a champion, but in my local area, I try to do my best. So for me, it's the biggest purity is a safety. Yeah? So I don't want to crash. The bike also has a very convenient system. When you crash, the bar is not hitting your frame. Of course, you see over here, I hit it once because the screws were not tightened enough. So, but the system when it is tightened, it's working perfectly. So your levers will not hit the frame. So it's a quite nice system from the Canyon. One thing which I upgraded it as well, the bike, is here in the stem. I have a hidden compartment with one-up accessories. Those accessories, there is a multi-tool in there. Chain, you can break chain with it. There is a tire lever also over there. So a CO2 cartridge, but I have a tubeless kit over there to repair my tires. I have tubeless, yeah. So there's everything to replace it. Yeah, quite convenient. You don't need to carry that on your back. So whenever you crash, those tools are not hitting your body. Yeah, and then I had few crashes when this. I have like a big Lesin multi-tool, and it almost you know, my bike go through it. So yeah, so I plug it here in the stem. So it was quite nice. Yeah. Oh. Okay. There is another version of that bike. There is a trail version, but I would not advise to use that version for racing because it has a higher, the suspension in the front is 120, and it's less efficient to ride it. There is different geometry over there, so I would advise to use this World Cup version. This is not a World Cup version, but the World Cup, I think it is 100 at the front. So it's like better for a marathon racing. It's not like a plush bike. So what's the weakness of that bike? The weakness is that it's not trail bike and not a down country bikes, yeah? So you don't expect you're gonna make ridiculous jumps on that bike and the bike gonna survive. I was reading a lot of YouTube comments about those Canyon Luxes that they are not designed to jump on them or do any hardcore trail riding, and that's true. Yeah, this is a cross-country bike. But you can. It is capable of that. But it's not designed for it, yeah? So it not be super plush when you go in the downhill, yeah? And the main advantage of that bike is that it's a pure beast annihilation machine during the racing. This is, I think it weighs like 11.2 kilo as per now. So this is ridiculous, yeah, for that price of that bike, yeah. I just want to also to say that the World Cup on cross country was won by Mathieu van der Poel just on that bike. Of course, the highest model, yeah, but it was won, I think, even 2 times. So the bike is very capable. And if you say that you cannot ride downhill on that bike, that's not true. It's either your fear or you don't have enough skills to ride that bike. Yeah, so that's how I see it. The color, I don't have to say anything. Yeah, if there is available red color on that bike, you buy it. This is like a Ferrari. It's speed plus 50 to speed. Bike from when I bought it straight, I put some kind of transparent foil on it, so it. Still, after 4 years, 5 years, it looks quite nice. Yeah, it's not like super scratched or something. It's not like rubbish. Also, the bike has a few convenient stuff. When you try to replace the rear wheel, you can take out the flip lever over here, and you can unscrew your wheel very fast. This is quite nice for racing, so you don't have to look for your Allen keys. So that's one thing. Second thing, you have a chain guard over here. This is a very neat, like little stuff which was all those Canyon engineers, they are pretty smart, yeah? This chain guard is like the smallest chain guard I've seen on all the bikes, yeah? And it works. I never had a situation my chain like dropped on a front end. This is impossible on that bike, yeah? I don't know what you have to do to drop the chain on that bike. This is ridiculous, yeah? So such a little thing helps a lot, yeah? So as you see, everything on that bike was well designed. They are still selling that bike almost unchanged geometry until 2023, yeah? So it is a successful project, yeah? Okay guys, so if you like that video and you want more videos, please subscribe to the channel and see you next week. Boom!